Good morning, students. So in the previous class, we discussed regarding preparation methods of haloalkanes. One from alcohols, second one from hydrocarbons, third one from halogen exchange method, and one more allylic substitution method. So in today's class, we are going to discuss about the physical properties as well as the chemical properties of haloalkanes. Let's see what the physical properties of haloalkanes are. First, we'll discuss regarding nature of CX bond in haloalkanes. See, in a haloalkane, the carbon atom undergo sp3 hybridization. So the geometry of carbon is nothing but tetrahedral. So there is no lone pairs, all bond pairs only. The shape is also tetrahedral only. So this carbon undergo sp3 hybridization. And now to this sp3 hybridized carbon, at these three positions, either hydrogen or alkyl group may be attached. Alkyl or hydrogen depending on primary, secondary and tertiary. And here the fourth valence is satisfied by halogen X. See, if you take electronegativity of carbon is approximately 2.5. Whereas if you take halogens, fluorine is the most electronegative element. The electronegativity of fluorine is 4.0, chlorine is 3.0, bromine is 2.8, whereas iodine is 2.5. That means here among these two, carbon and halogen, halogen atom is more electronegative. So the values of carbon is 2.5, fluorine is 4.0, chlorine 3.0, bromine 2.8, iodine approximately 2.5. So halogens are more electronegative than compared to carbon. So what are the shared electron pair is there here? This shared electron pair is partially displaced towards chlorine atom. As a result, this halogen acquires a partial negative charge and carbon acquires a partial positive charge. So the CX bond in haloalkanes is a polar covalent bond, where halogen acquires a partial negative charge and carbon acquires partial positive charge, because the electronegativity of halogens is more than the electronegativity of carbon. So the bond between carbon and halogen in haloalkanes is, it is a polar covalent bond. A polar covalent bond is present between carbon and halogen. Right. Then let us see the characteristics of this CX bond. First one, I will take bond length. And these orders they are asking in objective examination. What is the order of bond length? So here I give the table. So no need to remember these values. Just for easy understanding, I mentioned here. No, just we should know the order, that's all. No need of remembering all these values. Right. CF 139 picometers. CCl bond 178 picometers. Whereas CBr bond 193 picometers. CI 214 picometers. So here from CF to CI, the bond length increases because in a group from top to bottom, the size of atom increases. So carbon remains fixed here, but the size of halogens increases gradually from top to bottom. As a result, the internuclear distance increases. That is, the bond length increases. So the order of bond length is CF is less than, CCl is less than, CBr is less than CI. So this is the order of bond length for haloalkanes. CF less than, CCl less than, CBr less than CI. So this is the order of bond length. Right. And the second one, bond enthalpy. As you know that bond enthalpy is inversely proportional to bond length. As the bond length increases, bond enthalpy decreases. Since here from CF to CI, bond length increases, bond enthalpy gradually decreases. The same trend is observed here. For CF 452 kilojoules per mole, for CCl 351, CBr 293, CI 234, the bond enthalpy gradually decreases due to the increase in bond length. So the order of bond enthalpy is CF is greater than, CCl is greater than, CBr is greater than CI. Next, bond polarity. See, bond polarity depends upon electronegativity difference. More the electronegativity difference between halogen and carbon, more is the bond polarity. As electronegativity decreases, bond polarity decreases. So from since carbon is same, from fluorine to iodine, so fluorine value 4.0, chlorine 3.0, bromine 2.8, and iodine is approximately 2.5. So here electronegativity decreases gradually. As electronegativity decreases, bond polarity also decreases. So the order of bond polarity is CF is greater than, CCl is greater than, CBr is greater than CI. This is the order of bond polarity. Next, stability. What is the order of stability? Generally, stability depends on bond enthalpy. Stability or reactivity, both depends generally on bond enthalpy. And fifth one is reactivity. Generally, these two are opposite to each other. More the stable, generally less reactive, less stable means more reactive. See here, stability depends on bond enthalpy. Since bond enthalpy decreases gradually from CF to CI, thermal stability also decreases. That means among these, which is more stable? CF is more stable than CCl, greater than CBr, greater than CI. So this is the order of stability of haloalkanes. Then what about a reactivity order? So the order of reactivity is exactly opposite to this. More stable, less reactive. So CF is less than, CCl is less than, CBr is less than CI. So this is the order of reactivity of these haloalkanes. And one more important characteristic property, dipole moment. What is dipole moment? So dipole moment of a bond, dipole moment of a bond is represented by the symbol mu, which is equal to the product of the magnitude of charge and the internuclear distance between the two bond atoms. Mu is equal to delta into L. Okay, the SI units of charge is coulombs and length is meters, coulomb meter. Or we can also express in terms of charge electrostatic units centimeters, or we can also express in terms of device. As you know, one device is equal to 10 to the power of minus 18 ESUCM, or one device is equal to 3.33 into 10 power minus 30 coulomb meter. So this is the magnitude of dipole moment mu. So dipole moment is directly proportional to charge as well as length. Now, in terms of charge, if we take, which is more electronegative? CF. Fluorine is more electronegative. So partial negative charge on fluorine is more. From fluorine to iodine, as wrote here, electronegativity decreases. The magnitude of negative charge also gradually decreases. That means delta is highest for CF bond. Since delta is highest for CF bond, dipole moment should be highest for CF. But dipole moment does not depend not only on charge but also on length. See, in terms of length, if you see bond length of CF is less than bond length of CCl. So the product of magnitude of charge and distance, bond length, the combining effect of these two is more for CCl bond, not for CF. So based on charge, our expected order is CF greater than CCl greater than CBr greater than Ci. But the bond length of CCl4 is more than compared to bond length of CF bond. So the product of the magnitude of charge and the distance is more for CCl bond, not for CF. So if you observe the values of dipole moment, experimentally calculated values, these are. CF has 6.17 into 10 power minus 30 coulometer, whereas CCl has 6.24 into 10 power minus 30 coulometer. That means the dipole moment of CCl bond is more than compared to CF. The reason is due to a high bond length of CCl than compared to CF. Even though the partial negative charge on F is more than Cl and this bond length predominates here. So the order of dipole moment is CCl is greater than, CF is greater than, CBr is greater than Ci. So this is the order of dipole moment values for haloalkanes. So these two will be reversed. Okay. So once again, in haloalkanes, the bond between carbon and halogen is polar in nature because the electronegativity of halogen is more than the electronegativity of carbon. So halogen acquires partial negative charge and carbon acquires partial positive charge. And some data are written here: bond lengths and bond enthalpies and dipole moments of different types of bonds. So bond length from top to bottom, as the size of halogen atom increases, bond length gradually increases. Bond enthalpy. Bond enthalpy is inversely proportional to bond length. As bond length increases, bond enthalpy decreases. So here bond enthalpy decreases gradually. Next, dipole moments. Dipole moment does not depend on a single factor. It is the combining effect of charge and length. In terms of charge, it is more for CF, but in terms of length, it is more for CCl than compared to CF. So the product of the magnitude of length and charge is more for CCl bond than CF bond. So order of dipole moment is CCl greater than CF greater than CBr greater than Ci. Next, stability and reactivity, bond polarity. Bond polarity depends on electronegativity difference. Since the electronegativity of halogens decreases gradually, bond polarity decreases. Stability and reactivity depends on bond enthalpy. Since bond enthalpy decreases from top to bottom here, that is from CF to Ci, then stability decreases. At the same time, the reactivity increases. So among the haloalkanes, more stable haloalkanes is fluoroalkanes, more reactive haloalkanes is iodoalkanes. So this is regarding some physical characteristics, means characteristics of CX bond. Right. Now let us see the physical properties of haloalkanes. First one, state. What is the physical state of haloalkanes? See, if you take lower members like CH3F or C2H5F, CH3Cl, and chlorofluorocarbons. Lower haloalkanes like methyl fluoride, ethyl fluoride, methyl chloride, and some chlorofluorocarbons or some fluoroalkanes. These are gases. Other than this, if you take higher members of haloalkanes are either liquid or solids. So lower members of haloalkanes are gases, whereas higher members of haloalkanes are either liquids or solids. This is regarding the physical state of haloalkanes. Come to the second one here. So the order of boiling points. So melting points and boiling points we'll see here. See, the order of melting points and boiling points depends upon a dipole-dipole interaction, especially in case of boiling points. The order of boiling points mainly depends upon dipole-dipole interaction. If dipole-dipole interactions are more, the boiling points are more. Less, boiling points will be less. Now, I'll take some example here. CH3F, CH3Cl, CH3Br, CH3I. For the same alkyl group, as the size of the halogen atom increases, then dipole-dipole forces increases. Then here, the order of boiling points for this is CH3F less than, CH3Cl is less than, CH3Br is less than CH3I. That means here for the same haloalkane, for the same alkyl group, as the size of the halogen atom increases, the order of boiling points increases. This is the first one. Now, with the same number of carbon atoms, I will increase the number of halogen atoms. So here, I'll take a CH3Cl, CH2Cl2, CHCl3, CCl4. Methyl chloride, dichloromethane, trichloromethane, tetrachloromethane. So here, as the number of halogen atoms increase with the same number of carbons, number of carbons same, only one carbon is there, but here the number of halogen atoms increases. For the same number of carbon atoms, as the number of halogen atoms increases, the attractive forces between the molecules increases, thereby boiling point increases. Now the order of boiling point is CH3Cl less than, CH2Cl2 less than, CHCl3 less than, CCl4. So this is the order of boiling point for this one. Next, third case. CH3Cl, CH3CH2Cl, CH3CH2CH2Cl. That means here I'm just increasing the number of carbon atoms. Methyl chloride, ethyl chloride, propyl chloride, butyl chloride, and so on. That means here the length of the carbon chain increases. Then now here, as the number of carbon atoms in a haloalkane increases, the boiling point increases. So here the order of boiling point is methyl chloride is less than, ethyl chloride is less than, propyl chloride is less than, and so on. This is the order of boiling points. So for the same halogen atom, here halogen is common in all these, chlorine only. For the same halogen atom, as the number of carbon atoms increases, the order of boiling point increases. And one more. CH3, CH2, CH2Cl. One more alkyl group I'll take. This is N-butyl chloride. And one more. CH3, CH, CH3, CH2Cl. This is isobutyl chloride. And one more structure I'll take here. C, CH3, 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 Cl. This is a tertiary butyl chloride. Now these three compounds contains same number of carbon atoms, but number of branches increases. Here 4 carbons present in the long chain. Here 1 carbon is present as branch. Here 2 carbons present as branches. That means same compound. This is nothing but a C4H9Cl. The molecular formula is same, but these are structural isomers, nothing but chain isomers. So for the same compound, as the number of branches increases, boiling point decreases. So among these, the order of boiling point is N-butyl chloride is less than, isobutyl chloride is less than tertiary butyl chloride. So your molecular mass same, then why the boiling points are different here? The reason is, here all 4 carbon atoms present in a long chain. Here one branch came here like this, the structure becomes like this. The molecular structure becomes like this. Here almost a spherical structure like this. So here a molecule is having between 2 molecules, the contact area is more. If you take one more molecule here like this, between 2 molecules, the contact area is more. That means attractive forces between 2 molecules will be more. To separate these, more energy is required. As the number of branches increases, the spherical nature of the molecule increases. As the spherical nature of the molecule increases, let us here take 2 spheres like this. The contact area, that means the attractive force between 2 spheres will be less here. Contact area is less. So as the spherical nature increases, that is as the branches increases, the attractive forces between molecules decreases. As the attractive forces between molecules decreases, automatically boiling points also decreases. So for the same haloalkane, as the number of branches increases, boiling points decreases. So this is different cases for boiling points. See once again. For the same number of carbon atoms, that is for the same alkyl group, as the size of the halogen increases, that is from fluorine to iodine, the boiling points increases. Next, for the same number of carbon atoms, as the number of halogen atoms increases, the boiling point increases. Next, for the same halogen atom, as the number of carbon atoms increases, boiling points increases. Next, for the same molecular formula, as the number of branches increases, the spherical nature of molecule increases. As a result, the boiling points decreases. This is regarding the order of boiling points. Now, solubility. So if you take haloalkanes, the CX bond is polar in nature, but this haloalkanes does not undergo ionization in water. Even they cannot form hydrogen bonds with water. That's why these haloalkanes are partially soluble in water. And these haloalkanes are soluble in water partially due to dipole-dipole interactions. Since these cannot form hydrogen bonds and these cannot be split into ions in water, these are just partially soluble in water. Whereas these are readily soluble in organic solvents. So readily soluble in organic solvents like benzene, carbon tetrachloride, carbon disulfide, like these in organic solvents, these haloalkanes are readily soluble. This is solubility. Next, density. CH3F, CH3Cl, CH3Br, CH3I, CH3Cl, CH2Cl2, CHCl3, CCl4. As the size of the halogen atom increases, the density increases. The order of density is CH3F less than, CH3Cl less than, CH3Br less than, CH3I. So this is the order of density. Next, for the same haloalkane, as the number of halogen atoms increases, then also the density increases. Methyl chloride less than, dichloromethane less than, trichloromethane less than, carbon tetrachloride. So this is the order of densities. Right. So this is regarding the physical properties of haloalkanes. See once again, the lower members of haloalkanes like methyl fluoride, ethyl fluoride, methyl chloride, and some chlorofluorocarbons are gases, whereas the remaining exist as liquids or solids during boiling points. As the size of halogen atom increases, boiling point increases. As number of halogen atoms increases, boiling point increases. As number of carbon atoms increases, boiling point increases. For the same compound, as branches increase, boiling point decreases. Solubility. Since it is a polar compound but does not form hydrogen bond with water and does not undergo ionization in water, it is partially soluble in water but readily soluble in organic solvents. Density. As the size of the halogen atom increases, or as the number of halogen atoms increases, density of haloalkanes increases. This is regarding physical properties of haloalkanes. Now we'll go for chemical properties. What are chemical properties of haloalkanes? So as per the syllabus, what are the chemical properties are present? These are classified mainly under 4 groups. They are nucleophilic substitution reactions. Second one is elimination reactions. Third one is reaction with metals. And fourth one is reduction. So the properties are categorized into 4 groups. Now come to the first one, nucleophilic substitution reactions. So what is nucleophilic substitution reaction? Let us see now. RX, haloalkane. Halogen has a partial negative charge, alkyl group has partial positive charge. Now here the electron pair is more close to halogen than compared to alkyl group. That means this is partially negatively charged. When this haloalkane is attacked by a nucleophile, now this nucleophile can attack from the rear side. Suppose if this nucleophile approaches from this side, already this is having negative charge, this is negative charge, both will repel each other. So for that, this nucleophile can attack from the rear side, and this nucleophile donates electrons to this alkyl carbon, and then this, whatever this RX bond electrons is there, this RX bond electrons are gained by X. Then this will splits into RNU plus X minus. Simply this Nu minus replaces X minus. Then, and one more. So one more condition required here is what the attacking nucleophile is there. This attacking nucleophile must be stronger than this. Again, there are different types of mechanisms. SN1 mechanism, SN2 mechanism, SNI mechanism, like that 3 different types of mechanisms are there. But mechanisms later we'll discuss. So now in this case, if the attacking nucleophile is stronger than the existing halogen, then this nucleophile can replace this. Suppose if this is weaker than this cannot replace. So stronger nucleophiles can replace weaker nucleophiles. So here X minus replaced by the attacking nucleophile, then we can get the product and halide gets separates. This is the mechanism of nucleophilic substitution reactions. Now let us see some nucleophilic substitution reactions. First one, reaction with aqueous KOH. See here in all these reactions, what the reagent we are taking here, the nucleophile produced from the reagent can replace X minus. That's all. All reactions are similar. Now let's see a reaction with aqueous KOH. Rx, first I'll write general equation and then we'll go for example. Rx plus aqueous KOH. Again, KOH you can prepare in two ways, aqueous KOH and alkalic KOH. Aqueous KOH is used for nucleophilic substitution, whereas alkalic KOH is used for elimination reactions. Now, this KOH splits into K plus and OH minus. Now, this nucleophile OH minus can attack this and replaces X minus. As a result, you can get ROH plus. Replace the X minus and remaining K plus combine and exist as KX. This is the equation. Now let us see example for this. An example for this. CH3, CH2, Cl, ethyl chloride plus aqueous KOH gives rise. Then what is the product? CH3, CH2, OH plus KCl, potassium chloride. So here OH minus replaces Cl minus. Replaced Cl minus and remaining K plus combine to form KCl, potassium chloride. So this is a nucleophilic substitution reaction. So ethyl chloride react with aqueous KOH to give ethyl alcohol. Next, this is the first one. And second one, reaction with moist silver oxide. Second one, reaction with moist silver oxide. What is this moist silver oxide? See, in a reaction, we can take silver oxide in two states under two different conditions. One is moist silver oxide, one more is a dry silver oxide. Both examples I'll explain here. See here, when haloalkane RX, what is this moist silver oxide? Nothing but Az2O dissolves in water and forms, there is moisture, it forms 2 moles of AzOH. This is moist silver oxide. And this silver hydroxide, what is formed here, that will react with haloalkane RX plus AzOH. Then what happens here? Same just like as earlier. This is Az plus and OH minus. This OH minus attacks this alkyl group and X minus will be replaced. The replaced X minus and the Az remained Az plus both combined to form silver halide. So we can get ROH plus AzX. This is the product. Now let us see an example for this. CH3, CH2, Cl, ethyl chloride plus AgOH, nothing but moist silver oxide. Then OH minus replace Cl minus, and we can get CH3 CH2OH plus AgCl. Silver chloride is formed. So when haloalkanes react with the moist silver oxide, that X minus is replaced by OH minus. This is the second one. Third one, a reaction with the Na, and one more here. Let's see, one more application I'll tell you. Suppose instead of moist silver oxide, if you take a dry silver oxide in the same reaction, then what the product you will get here now I'll tell you. CHROH, sorry, RCl, RX, maybe RCl. When this haloalkane is allowed to react with the dry silver oxide Ag2O, then 1 mole of silver oxide can react with the 2 moles of AgCl. There is alkyl chloride RCl, and here 2 moles of AgCl get separates, and we can get a ROR, 2 alkyl groups and 1 oxygen is there, plus 2 AgCl. This is the product. So when haloalkanes are allowed to react with the moist silver oxide, then we can get alcohol as the product. Instead of moist silver oxide, suppose if you take a dry silver oxide in the same reaction, then instead of getting a alcohol, we will get a ether as the product. This is the reaction. So this is regarding reaction with aqueous KOH and moist silver oxide. So in both the cases, halogen is replaced by OH minus. This is second property. Now come to the third property here. A reaction with NaI, sodium iodide. So reaction with NaI, sodium iodide. RX, haloalkane, that is either chloroalkane or bromoalkane. When allowed to react with sodium iodide, then here X minus replaced by I minus, and we can get Ri plus NaX. An example here, C2H5Cl, ethyl chloride, plus sodium iodide, NaI. Then we can get C2H5I plus NaCl. So haloalkanes, when allowed to react with sodium iodide, we can get alkyl iodide. If you take ethyl chloride, we can get ethyl iodide. This is next reaction with sodium alkoxide. Reaction with sodium alkoxide. What is sodium alkoxide here? R-ONA. Nothing but when alcohol is allowed to react with sodium metal, then we can get sodium alkoxide with the displacement of halogen. Sorry, with the displacement of hydrogen. And this reaction is also called as a Williamson's ether synthesis. And this is an important named reaction. So frequently they are asking in PUC examination. Reaction with the sodium alkoxide. Haloalkanes RX react with sodium alkoxide in the presence of dry ether. Sorry. So haloalkanes react with sodium alkoxide and gives ethers RO R dash plus NaX. Nothing but what the reaction takes place here is R dash O Na splits as R dash O minus and Na plus. This R dash O minus attacks this alkyl group and X minus is replaced. So R dash O minus means alkoxide can replace halide ion. Then we can get ether as the product. This reaction is known as Williamson's ether synthesis. Okay. This is the fourth one. So when haloalkanes react with sodium iodide, we can get alkyl iodide. When haloalkanes are allowed to react with the sodium alkoxide, we can get ether, and this reaction is known as Williamson's ether synthesis. This is the fourth one. And come to the next fifth one. Reaction with ammonia. Rx. When haloalkanes are allowed to react with ammonia, NH3, then this nitrogen contains a lone pair of electrons. So this nitrogen donates lone pair of electrons to this X minus, and then this X minus will be replaced, the replaced X minus, and from this H plus combined to form HX. That means we can get simply RNH2 plus HX. Simply NH2 minus replaces X minus. The replaced X minus and H plus combined to form HX. This is a nucleophile substitution, and this is called as nothing but a product is a primary amine. So primary amine is a prominent product. So by this the reaction will not be stopped. So again, this RNH2 can act as a nucleophile. This RNH2 can attack another haloalkane molecule, Rx plus RNH2. Now again this NH2 minus donates electron pair to R, and X minus is replaced here, replace X minus, and from here H plus combined to form HX. That means we can get R2NH plus HX. This is called as a secondary amine. So that primary amine, what is formed, can attack another haloalkane molecule, and then we can get secondary amine. Now still it contains lone pair of electrons and replaceable hydrogen. So this will attack another haloalkane molecule, Rx plus R2NH gives rise. Then we can get R3N. So this nitrogen is same, donates electron pair to R, X minus will be replaced plus HX. So here again nitrogen attacks this alkyl group and X minus is replaced. Then we can get R3N. Now this is called as tertiary amine. Tertiary amine will be formed as the product. Now here there is no replaceable hydrogen still here, but this contains lone pair of electrons. Now this can react with one more haloalkane molecule, Rx plus R3N. But one thing here there is no substitution. Just this nitrogen donates electron pair to alkyl group and forms R4N plus, and the remaining X minus is bonded to this through electrostatic attraction force. This is called as quaternary ammonium salt. First three steps are nucleophilic substitution reaction, whereas the fourth step is not substitution, this is just addition. Nitrogen donates electron pair to alkyl group and forms a tetra alkyl ammonium ion, and to that halide ion is attached. Simply this is written as tetra alkyl ammonium iodide. So the name of this product is tetra-alkyl ammonium iodide. So this is the sequence of reactions with ammonia. Now let us see an example for this. So you observe clearly here, in each step, in the first three steps, in each step, one hydrogen replaced by alkyl group. Like that in three steps, three hydrogens are replaced by three alkyl groups. In the fourth step, there is no replaceable hydrogen. So addition reaction takes place here. So this is RNH2 primary amine, R2NH is secondary amine, R3N is tertiary amine. This is a quaternary ammonium salt, simply tetra-alkyl ammonium halide. Now let us see an example here. CH3Cl, when allowed to react with ammonia, then from this hydrogen halide HCl get eliminates. With elimination of HCl, we can get CH3NH2, methylamine. Methyl chloride react with ammonia with elimination of hydrogen chloride. Then we can get methylamine. So here one chlorine and here one hydrogen atom replaced as HCl. Then we can get methylamine. And this methylamine further react with one more molecule of methyl chloride. Again with elimination of HCl molecule. Then what you can get? CH3 taken twice NH. Again this can react with haloalkane RX, that is methyl chloride. Then we can get CH3 taken thrice N. And now this can further react with one more molecule of methyl chloride. But here no substitution, only addition takes place. Then we can get CH3 taken 4 N. This is the product formed here. Let us see what is the names of the products. This is methyl chloride. What about this? So this is an amine. So this, according to common system, these are named as alkyl amine. What is alkyl group here? Methyl. So this is methyl, and the functional group is amine. Methyl amine. Now come to this. How many methyl groups are here? Two methyl groups. And this is named as dimethylamine. Dimethylamine. Whereas if you take this one, here three alkyl groups is there. This is trimethylamine. Trimethylamine. And here addition takes place. The name of this compound is, this is tetramethyl ammonium chloride. So this is the reaction with ammonia. So when haloalkanes are allowed to react with ammonia, then we can get primary amine, secondary amine, tertiary amine, and quaternary ammonium salts. If you take an example, methyl chloride, when methyl chloride is allowed to react with ammonia, we can get the mixture of. So all these four products are formed here. Methylamine, dimethylamine, trimethylamine, and tetramethyl ammonium chloride. So this is the reaction with ammonia. So when haloalkanes react with ammonia, we can get four products: primary amine, secondary amine, tertiary amine, and finally quaternary ammonium salts. Next, reaction with KCN, and one more, a reaction with AgCN. Reaction with cyanides. One is potassium cyanide, one is silver cyanide. Both are cyanides. but in both the cases we didn't get the same product, we can get different products here. So if a haloalkane RX is allowed to react with KCN, potassium cyanide, then we can get RCN plus KX. Nothing but this is alkyl cyanide. Haloalkanes react with KCN and gives alkyl cyanide. And if I take an example here, ethyl chloride, CH3CH2Cl plus KCN. Here say this KCN splits as K plus and Cn minus, and then we can get CH3 CH2 Cn plus KCl. This is ethyl cyanide. Ethyl cyanide, or the IUPAC name is 1, 2, 3. 3 carbons are there. Root word is prop. Single bond is there. N. Cn means nitrile. Ethyl cyanide is common name. Propane nitrile is IUPAC name. Now, if the same haloalkane is allowed to react with AgCN, RX plus AgCN, then here we will not get alkyl cyanide. We can get alkyl isocyanide. RNC will be formed as the product plus AgX. Let us see an example here. CH3CH2Cl plus AgCN gives rise CH3CH2NC plus AgCl. This is ethyl chloride. Whereas this is ethyl isocyanide. Then why you got ethyl cyanide here? You got ethyl isocyanide here. What the difference? So the mechanism of these two reactions is different. Both are same type of compounds, KCN and AgCN, but the mechanism is different. This reaction, that is a reaction of haloalkanes with KCN, takes place by ionic mechanism. First here what happens is, if you take a KCN, KCN splits into K plus plus Cn minus. This is structure of Cn minus. Here carbon contains lone pair, means carbon is free to donate lone pair of electrons. So this carbon attacks this alkyl carbon and then replace Cl minus. So here in this Cn minus, negative charge is present on the carbon, and this carbon attacks this carbon atom. Thereby Cl minus is replaced. This reaction takes place by ionic mechanism. Whereas in this reaction, the bond between silver and carbon is covalent in nature. This is structure. AgCN, where nitrogen contains lone pair. This bond is covalent in nature, predominantly carbon and silver. So here, carbon cannot donate lone pair of electrons. Nitrogen is free to donate a lone pair of electrons. So this nitrogen donates electron pair to this carbon. Whenever nitrogen donates lone pair of electrons to this carbon, this electron pair is gained by Cl. And this electron pair is transferred to here. This is gained by this carbon. Then Ag plus will get separate. Okay. And Ag plus and Cl minus combine to form AgCl. So reaction with KCN takes place by ionic mechanism. KCN splits into K plus and Cn minus, where carbon is free to donate lone pair of electrons. Whereas this reaction takes place by covalent mechanism. The bond between Ag and carbon is more covalent in nature. So here nitrogen is free to donate lone pair of electrons, not carbon. So nitrogen donates lone pair of electrons. Whenever nitrogen donates lone pair of electrons to this carbon, thus Cl gains this lone pair of bonded electrons and separate as Cl minus. Cl minus and here Ag plus gets separates. Ag plus and Cl minus combine to form AgCl. So this is the reaction with AgCN. Still some other properties are there. So still now today what we discuss is in nucleophilic substitution reaction, a reaction with aqueous KOH, reaction with moist silver oxide, reaction with NaI, and reaction with sodium alkoxide, reaction with ammonia, reaction with KCN, and reaction with AgCN. In all these, X minus is replaced by the nucleophile of the attacking reagents. Still some other properties are there. In tomorrow class, we'll continue that. Thank you.